So I want to talk about who does affirmative action really affect, right? Who does it really affect? And so I don't know if y'all even know what affirmative action is, but it has been in the news a lot lately. And most people, they probably don't even know about it. In California, we don't know any students. They don't even know about it because in California, the institutions they are not allowed. Affirmative action has been outlawed to whatever degree. And so. But anyway, what affirmative action is a policy that was created to try to address historical and institutional discrimination for specific groups of people, like women and people of color, right, and people and folks like that. But what the law suggests is that in the event of a tie between two qualified candidates, is that institutions are allowed to use a person's membership in a historically oppressed group in order to break the tie. And so understand this, right, is that when you're talking about affirmative action, I know a lot of folks, when they think about affirmative action, they think about the quotas, and that, they think it's like, when you have a class, when you have an entering freshman class of 100, you got to make, quotas are, you got to make sure that 5 of them are African American, 3 of them are Asian American, and 20 of them are Chicano Latinos, and then the rest of them can be white. That's what quotas mean, right? But quotas, under affirmative action, those were actually used as punitive measures, that when institutions were not living up to the spirit of the law, that, the federal government, they would actually penalize by giving quotas and whatnot to certain institutions. And so that's how that worked out. But what research is actually showing is that the group that's actually affected the most by affirmative action policies is not white people, it's actually Asian Americans. And this is data, right? Don't argue with me, argue with the data, that Asian students they have to score, or that they tend to have an SAT score of 140 points higher than white students, 270 points higher than Hispanic students, and like 450 points higher than black students. Which, I mean, those are some really big gaps. But I don't think people really understand that when these articles and these newspapers are really characterizing the admission policy, and they only limit it to SAT scores or GPAs, that they're really doing a disservice to the admissions policy, because the admissions policy has a lot of other things, a lot of other components. There's the essay, and are you a well-rounded student? Have you done leadership stuff, service learning type of stuff? And there's a lot of things that are involved in being admitted to a college. And so just limiting it to GPA and SAT scores, like I said, is a little unfair, but it is what it is. But when you think about, if you were to drop affirmative action and just go to a merit-based admission policy, right? What'll happen if you drop affirmative action and merit-based admission policy? What's going to happen is you're going to get a ton more Asian folks in your school system, on the campuses of these elite colleges, a lot more. And whatnot. Now, let me make this clear. I got no problem with any of that. People go to elite colleges, whatever. Black and brown folks, we're small numbers at those colleges anyway, and so basically we're not even going to be affected by dropping the affirmative action policies and whatnot. We'll wind up just going to prestigious public schools and whatnot. But the college that they were focusing on was like Harvard and stuff like that, these Ivy League schools and whatnot. But so I really want you to then understand that if we drop affirmative action, the people who are going to benefit the most are actually going to be Asian folks. And I honestly think that the people who are going to get hurt the most are going to be actually white people, like just per numbers. And you can be mad at me all you want. I know the UCLA folks, and this is not a shot because I'm a USC dude alum. But the USC folks, they say that the white folks over there, they say UCLA stands for United Caucasians Lost Among Asians, right? And so if that's already the case, then what would happen if we did drop affirmative action or any of that stuff? Any preference or diversity, looking at diversity and whatnot in regards to campus colleges or college campuses, what would happen then, right? If that's already the case for a lot of white folks and how they're feeling, then what'll happen if we drop that and really go to a merit-based system? And so the thing that I also want to really point out, there's a couple of things to point out, is that when when we changed to this well-rounded student approach, meaning that you needed to like be able to write the essay and demonstrate leadership and civil service and all of this stuff, that actually benefits white people more than it benefits people of color. And so when we're thinking about all of this stuff, it's like the measures that were put in because of affirmative action really benefited a lot of white people. White people were a lot of the beneficiaries and stuff like that. Focusing on diversity, right? Those are the things that focusing on diversity means then that you want, it's like, I hate to say it like this, you don't want the campus in the United States, for whatever reason, we don't want the campus to be all Asian American students. And so the idea of increasing and making sure there's diversity, racial diversity at a particular campus definitely benefits white people more than it does black people and Chicano Latinos. It has to. Right? I mean, when you think about it just logically. And so when it all comes down to it, I really want you to think about this. Is that when it comes down to solutions, I think that there is a solution. I say, you know what? Let's go ahead and get rid of it. I'm going to call your bluff. Jeff Sessions in the Department of Justice, I'm going to call your bluff on this one and say, hey, you know what? Go ahead and get rid of it. And then I want to see all those elite colleges scramble their asses off trying to figure out a way to make sure that their campus is not 100% Asian folks. Because I'm telling you, given the numbers, that is really close to likely to be happening on a lot of these campuses and whatnot. And like I said, black and brown folks, we're generally not at those colleges anymore. Our numbers at those colleges are really small, and so we'll wind up just going to other colleges. But look, the egos of white folks, I'm going to tell you, especially y'all, the middle class and upper middle class white folks, y'all are going to be in for a rude awakening if you all drop these affirmative action measures and really try to go on merit-based. Yeah, have fun with that one. And so anyway, like, subscribe, share. Check me out on brucehoskins.com if you want to find out more about who I am and what I do. Peace, y'all.